Hello everyone, welcome to the next episode of Don't Do What Marilyn Does. I've made numerous mistakes and thankfully I decided not to upload those, and I'm going to try again and we'll see if I continue to make the same mistake or not. So what I am going to do at this point is I'm going to start sanding the plywood pieces that are part of my van floor. I have 3 pieces. This is the largest piece. I promise you I will not put you through the painful process of watching me sand and paint every one of those. I will be doing some of this, and I plan to speed it up during some of the slow spots because I'm not going to stop what I'm doing to stop recording, so I promise you I will edit it. So wish me luck on figuring this out again, and let's get going. Well, I'm going to bring you over here just a little bit closer so that you can see the difference in what I'm doing. The right-hand side, as we're looking at this, has been somewhat sanded. I may have to do more, but I think you can see the difference. Well, maybe if I get into the lighting just right. On the left-hand side, it is looking quite rumply. And we want to smooth all that rumply out because I intend to put down a peel and stick type of floor covering, or what I'm trying to find really is a one-piece vinyl carpet to put down, which is not easy to find in my area without traveling a few miles. So anyhow, I'm going to put this down and stop recording, and I'll be back with you. I think I'm done with the sanding. It's fairly smooth. Not perfectly, but I don't do anything perfect. So anyhow, oh, here comes my supervisor. Where's my supervisor? Oh, you're going to leave me now. You're just checking up on me to see that I'm doing something, okay? Okay. So anyhow, now I am going to start painting process on this particular piece. I have with me a product called Kills. It's an all, excuse me, an all-purpose interior exterior primer. And I purchased this a couple years ago when I was doing my garage door project, and I have a little more than half a can left. And I'm thinking that if I could paint 3 garage doors with what I had in that can, I can finish up these 3 pieces of plywood. Keeping my fingers crossed. For those of you who are not familiar with this particular product, Kills is an interior exterior primer. It is a sealer and a stain blocker. Some of the advantages are its excellent adhesion, hides previous colors, blocks light to medium stains, and my big thing, mildew resistant finish. And it's good for wood, drywall, plaster, brick, masonry, paneling, stucco, painted metal, galvanized, and more. And my most recent project that I used it on was my metal garage doors. And I was really pleased with how it worked, because in the 2 or 3 years since I've done that, I have had absolutely no peeling from the metal, no staining, and I've been really happy with it, so I'm sure I'll be happy with it on this wood. Now on to painting. Okay, I have gone in and changed into my painting pants. I'm sure you've seen these pants in many of my videos, and there's a reason I wear these. Is why destroy a perfectly good pair of old stuff when you've got a nasty pair of old stuff you can still use. Any tool can be the right tool. So let's get started with our paint project. I should be using a roller, right? I'll get to that once I get these edges done. And I get into painting the center part and the back, I will do the roller. And no, I will not be painting any happy little trees or squirrels on this particular piece, because it's just going to get covered up anyhow. But you gotta believe my mind goes there. Of course, as you all know, the last thing I painted was the walls for my camper. Those plastic walls. They turned out okay, except that the paint really does chip easy. And the wallpaper certainly did not adhere, which I didn't expect it to, but it was a nice idea to at least see if I liked wallpaper. And maybe that will be what I end up with. I don't know yet. I've got lots of time to think about it. I did take the van in on Tuesday to a local RV place to get a quote on having the bunker windows put in the back of the van on each side. And I also had them quote me a price on doing shore power. And once I got the quote, I decided I'm just going to do the windows. And maybe a later time I'll do the shore power, but when I went on my last trip, I just stuck my extension hose through the front window and it worked just fine, and if that's what I have to do until I can gather up the money to do the shore power, or find someone who can do it a little cheaper, then that's what I'll do. So I have the windows ordered, and as soon as they come in, they will set me up with an appointment to get them installed. Although I do know that right now they are running their appointments through June, and this is the end of May. And I'm not in a real big hurry, except that I would like to get it done as soon as they're able to, so that I can continue on with my build and have it as close to being done when I'm ready to go to Florida in January or February, whenever I decide to head down. Other than that, the last couple of days I have spent mowing the lawn, since we finally got dry weather to do so. And I've done, you might not want to hear this, but I have done some sawing with the power saw to knock down a few stumps that I've had around the yard that I'm getting quite tired of. And I discovered a huge, huge patch of poison ivy. And not too happy about that, but I'm either going to find somebody who can get rid of that or just make sure that nobody goes over into that little grove of trees. I don't want them to have a problem getting into poison ivy. Now, being out in the country in Pennsylvania, you deal with poison ivy. You know what it is, you know what it looks like, and you stay away from it. And I didn't really do a good job of staying away from it, and I'm hoping I'm not going to have any problems. But as soon as I was done messing around in that area, I came in and immediately got into the bathtub and washed myself, especially the exposed parts, with warm water and soap. And so far I haven't had any bad effects from it. I don't know how long it would take to show up, but I'm sure it would have showed up by now. So you just got to be smart. You got to know what you're dealing with, and you got to know how to take care of it to prevent any adverse reaction. Of course, the first line of prevention is just to stay out of it. But I was already into it. So that will be my next project, is to find somebody to take care of that. And I know there are exterminators who can do that. And here comes my supervisor again. I don't know if you can see her walking through, but she's checking on me. The dinner bell hasn't rung yet. Sorry. I decided that I'd bring you out here to my backyard and show you this patch of poison ivy I have. This was supposed to be a nursery at one time. When I first moved into this property, this was an old garden, and since we don't do gardening, we didn't really use it for that. My husband decided that he needed some white pines around the property, and he and his son bought so many, and these were the leftovers, and he put them in this patch of ground that he considered the nursery. And he figured that he would be transplanting them different places around the yard throughout the years. However, they grow so fast that, yeah, they kind of got out of hand, but that's okay because he liked his white pines, and it was nice to have this little bit of privacy. Except that now that they're big and the lower branches have died and breaking off, it doesn't offer as much privacy anymore. But yeah, here is the patch that I was telling you about. See that shiny 3-leaf stuff? That's what we're looking at. That's the poison ivy. And I was in here yesterday cutting down that little stump there. It was that piece of the tree is what I was cutting off, that stump. This was an old, I can't remember the name of it. I'll think of it later and I'll post it here in this part of the video. But this has some very sharp spines on it that if you get pricked by them, you're going to know it. Not only is it painful when you get pricked by it, but it exudes a poisonous substance and causes quite the irritation for a while. And I promise I will look that up because you need to be aware of that also. we had a few of these trees, and once my husband was not here anymore, I got rid of them. But this one is trying desperately to come back, and I'm not going to let it. But back to the poison ivy, which is over here. You can see that it's growing these really nice hairy vines right up this particular tree and covering it pretty good. So yeah, this particular tree is probably going to just go away when I find somebody who's willing to take care of all this. But yeah, I got lots of poison ivy here that I need to get rid of. And if I can't find somebody to do it, I'll have to do it myself. So I've been researching different things that I can do. One of them is to use white vinegar. But there happens to be a horticultural vinegar that happens to have 30% more acidic factor than the regular white vinegar that only has 5%. So I'm going to be looking for that. I'm sure it'll do a much better job at killing the nasty stuff. The disadvantage is that it also takes care of any other plants around that you want to keep. The pretty ones that don't cause harm. Thankfully, as many times as Jazzy has gone through this patch, she's never given me any problems with poison ivy. I'm just kind of strolling down through to see how much more I have. It's not all poison ivy, but there's enough of it to cause concern. And as you know, there's a squirrel up every tree, and she's got plenty of trees to control. Hey, Soup, is it time for lunch? Shall we go get some lunch? Okay, let's go get some lunch. You lead the way. Where's lunch? That's not lunch. I'm not eating those squirrels. Come on. I almost forgot about this beautiful patch of flowers that are back here. These are the wild irises, often referred to as the blue flags. We had a patch of yellow ones as well, but for some reason they didn't seem to survive like this particular patch did. We brought these back from our camp down in Tionesta many years ago, and I thought we had lost them, and then surprisingly I find them out here after I got rid of the other vines that were growing out here. They just didn't have a chance to come up, and now that they're exposed to sunlight, they can grow again. And of course, this is a patch I haven't been able to work on yet. I got all these big nasty things growing. I don't know what they are, other than they are not poison ivy. But I did put some myrtle out here a few years ago, and it's taken quite well. And I'm going to have to take some of it and move it to the front out between my row of trees and the road, because it's getting a little dangerous for me to mow out there anymore. So I will hope to get some ground cover going out there. And oh, there's one of those nasty vines that he loves. I'm not sure. I think that might be the honeysuckle. I mean, yeah, the honeysuckle is beautiful and it attracts a lot of butterflies and whatnot, but I cannot stand the sweet, sickening smell of these things. So they get ripped out whenever I see a batch of them growing. And it's going to be a battle. I've been fighting them now for 6 years, and right now that's the only true spot I see them in. So I'll come out and tackle them a little bit later. But right now, I keep promising my girls some lunch. Let's go get lunch. So I'll be back with you again shortly. Now this is not poison ivy. This is a red maple that I got free from the Arbor Day Foundation, and I need to plant it yet. Along with this arborvitae that I got last fall and did get it planted, did not get it planted. So I need to do that. I'll get to it. You know that saying. I'll get around to it when I get around to it. Well, this might be kind of fun to watch. I was going to get my roller out, but it appears the only one I have is this little thing. I don't know if that's going to work, but we're going to give it a try. If all else fails, I still have the brush I was using earlier. And if I get tired of that, I'm going to town tomorrow. I'll be out and about, so I'll make sure I buy a regular roller and the pan. This is just an old dustpan. I don't even have a paint rolling pan. But we'll see how this works. Don't do what Marilyn does. You've been warned. And it's not doing too bad. It's going to take me a little bit longer than if I had a regular size roller. Well, this little roller isn't doing too terribly bad. I'm not saying it's doing it too terribly good either, but at least it's getting covered fairly well and fairly quickly. And there you have it. It's all painted on the one side and the edges. In a couple of days I'll do the other side with a bigger roller. But it worked. Any tool can be the right tool. Thank you for watching.